I'm here at NAB 2026, just surrounded by tons of new gear, everything that's going on in this whole industry. And my goal is to find any new gear that we should be aware of as content creators, and if there's anything cool coming out soon. So let's go see what we can find. Okay, we have to go check out the GoPro booth, the new Mission 1. We gotta go see this. It's a completely new way to shoot with action cameras because you can mount Micro Four Thirds lenses on it. So there's 3 new cameras that are coming out. We got the Mission 1, the Mission 1 Pro, and then the Mission 1 ILS, interchangeable lens system. And the Mission 1 is gonna be, I think, $599, and then the Mission 1 Pro and Mission 1 Pro ILS are $100 more, which is pretty wild. And the big thing is with the ILS, you can put on Micro Four Thirds lenses. So like this now becomes a camera that can be used for so much more. With this camera setup, it's like having just a little mini box camera because you can add on these lenses and you have all these cool features like 8K open gate, you have 4K up to 240 frames per second, and then you have burst of 960 frames per second at 1080. So like you have some really interesting potential with this camera. And with the ILS version, I can see this being used, you know, obviously like creators are gonna use it. You have this little mini box camera. It's like tiny. It's all about, you know, the sensor at that point and how the sensor looks. And then you have like Micro Four Thirds lenses on front of it. You could get good stuff, and you have this tiny compact setup. And you can see they have a few of them built out here, and how they built them out from like having one little small lens to having like a monitor being the phone, or having like a full-fledged cinema setup. You can kind of do the whole range now. But I could see this being used for like crash cams or putting it on the outside of cars, mounting it in different ways, and getting better looking footage than what you typically get out of an action camera. You can get really cinematic looking footage. It's just gonna have a completely different look for this size, and there's gonna be so many interesting applications for a camera like this. And for me personally, I'm curious to play around with it, really do some rigging on my Jeep and get, you know, different spots around, but also just use it as like a small, compact little mini cinema camera with some small Micro Four Thirds lenses. So I can't wait to actually try one and test one out myself. This is definitely like a change for this action camera world, and something that definitely is needed. Kind of bridge that gap between using, you know, action cameras and, you know, mirrorless cameras. It kind of fills in between where it's an action camera, but you can put on these bigger lenses. Pretty excited about this one. Okay, one of the biggest things to come out of the show so far is the Insta360 Luna, which they don't have it on display, but I actually got a beta copy. I made a whole video about it, and this camera is like a pocket competitor, and it can shoot 10-bit. It's gonna have 2 lenses on it. It's gonna do a lot of zooming features. It's got multiple variations, multiple colors. It's gonna go from beginner to pro. It's got a 1-inch sensor, an f1.8, and has 14 stops of dynamic range. And you've been seeing a little bit of footage here on screen that I shot while I've been here in Vegas. And I'm gonna make some more content around this camera soon because I have a beta, prototype, firmware, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm really excited about this camera and actually the future of Insta360, because not only are they coming out with the Luna, but there's also a whole new microphone system coming out that I can't talk a lot about yet. However, it's a more pro version of the microphone, and it's gonna be working seamlessly with all of their products. So it integrates with like this new Luna, it's gonna integrate with the 360 cameras, the Ace Pro 2, all of it. So it's just, so Insta360 is building out a whole ecosystem that's gonna make it very easy for content creators to use their cameras and create their videos. Okay, I'm over at the Tamron booth. I've used a few of their lenses in the past, but there is some interesting things going on over here. Jake Sloan's talking, so he's actually gonna tell you about the new products.
You wanna clip it on?
No, you just hold it. Be a YouTuber.
Oh, that's right.
Come
I
on,
forgot.
Be a YouTuber.
Be a YouTuber, you're supposed to hold it. All right, so Tamron has released some really cool stuff, and the coolest thing I think is their lens utility, which is now also iOS compatible, which hasn't been a thing until just recently. But if you have any of the late model Tamron lenses, you can buy the $50 Tamron Link unit, or sorry, just Tamron Link, and it unlocks an insane amount of features in your lens where you can remote control focus from your phone. You can set focus A and B points, so if you're racking focus between a close to camera subject and a far from camera subject, you can hit those A and B points exactly every single time, and you can set linear focus so you can exactly control your speed. You can also automate that between 3 focus points, so you can set up focus point A to have the camera stay on that focus point for 4 seconds and then move to focus point B over the course of 3 seconds, and then stay on focus point B for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So you can automate all that, which is huge for solo creators if you're trying to create your own content and be very specific about where you want the focus to fall. For me, the biggest game changers have been astrophotography and time-lapse, because now you can program the lens to shift focus throughout a time-lapse. So you can set it on an A focus point, say something really close to camera, and stay there for 3 seconds or 90 frames, and then have it go 5 seconds to the next focus point, so 150 frames, and then it will shift focus really smoothly throughout the time lapse to be able to, say start on a close subject and then end up far away and reveal more information to the audience, which is something I love. But then for astro, they now have an astro lock feature, which means the camera essentially finds a perfect infinity focus exactly on the stars wherever they are. Because even though lenses are calibrated with an infinity focus point, if you go out in some place like I do where it's 40 below zero, that infinity focus point has changed because of the coldness shrunk the lens down. Being able to have that where you hit your tack sharp focus on stars every single time now has been awesome, because the number of nights I've wasted 6 hours out in 40 below zero and come home with 2,000 slightly out of focus pictures is more than I care to admit.
Well, thanks. That was a lot of information about this little adapter. It's I think we need to go use it. I'm gonna go out to the desert with Jake right after this conference. Can we use it? Do you have one with us?
I have one, and we are absolutely going to use it.
Cool. Let's bring some Tamron lenses. Okay, there's one other thing I want to show you at this booth, and that is this lens right here. This is a 35 to 100 f2.8. So consistent 2.8, but look how small this lens is, and it only extends a little bit, like very little extension. But this is like a super lightweight lens. You can see it compared to my hand, how small this is. But if you compare that to, this one, this is a massive lens in comparison, 35 to 150, f2 to f2.8. This is an awesome lens, but smaller, lighter, and you get up to 100. So this one, might have to try that one. I've been looking for this light because I saw someone have one of these earlier. It's like an inflatable light tube, but it folds down super small. It's this company, Inky, and this one's bicolor, and you have these ones up here, which these ones are full RGB. They're all controlled with an app, and they have these magnets on the back, so you could put it up on like a stand and have an array, have multiple of them. But even just like a single one of these would be so good for travel and like just throwing in your backpack. So like for me, I always have my backpack on when I'm traveling, like doing adventure stuff, or I'm like on a plane. Having a couple of these like take up no space at all. So this is actually a really interesting product. And so this one's a 12 watt, right? Yes. So this one's 12 watt, there's 30 watt. And so this is at 100%, like pretty good amount of light to be able to use for like an interview style setup, or if you just need like a little bit of light somewhere. Put a couple of these together, you could get even more. I've been looking for a light like this to carry in my backpack. So here's how small it packs down. You can just like slip this in your backpack, fold it out, you blow it up, and it's like a nice big light. It's pretty cool. So new transmitters and receivers. I'm over here at the Hollyland booth, and I use the 7-inch monitors, these ones here. These work great. I mean, I use this for all my like client work, and they've always been, super reliable, very easy to use. But there's now a 5-inch version, which I think if you pair this with a small battery, this is a really cool lightweight option. And like this could be really good for like gimbal work, things like that, where you want to have a monitor but also have a wireless, transmitter. Something definitely when you have projects where there's more people involved and you want to have that wireless transmission. But what I'm excited for, these were just released, so this is a receiver and they have transmitters. But if you are working with a bigger crew, you have the big monitor here, and so you could have the wireless receiver up here going to the big monitor, and it's just a very easy system for it all to work together. I think that's one of the coolest things when I've been using this whole wireless system, is that it's very easy to like switch transmitters, receivers. It always connects very quick, and like for me, I've been a big fan of Hollyland's products, especially with this whole Pyro series. But this one's new. So Nisi has a claw game, and apparently you win something. What do you win?
It's a surprise.
Oh, I don't get to know it's a surprise. We'll see if I can win today. Okay, this.
You're so ready.
So ready. I've played so many claw games recently and have won nothing. Not a pro.
Oh, you won.
Nope. I'm over at the Nisi booth, and I use their filters. I have the Swift system, which is somewhere around here. So check this out. This is a new matte box that they're coming out with. Like, this is so lightweight, like super small. It uses different size rings here on the back, and it just attaches on. You unscrew it. So this goes on your camera, and then on here, you add the different ND filters. So you can see right here, this is one of the JetMag Pro, and you slap them on here, and then you can lock them with that white line, just like you normally would, and then you can pull them on and off, and then they also lock in. I actually don't have the JetMag Pro system yet. This is awesome because it's not only magnetic, but it also locks, which would be super useful because in the past, I've destroyed some of these filters with the Swift system by knocking them off. But on here, they're not gonna come off. This just locks right onto your camera, and you could stack your filters on it. So if you want to stack like an ND, you want to stack a mist, something like that, or you use like the variable ND or something like that, you could stack them on here as well, and they're locked, it's not falling off, and this thing weighs like nothing. So for the kind of documentary stuff that I do, like when I'm going out on like an adventure travel, this is actually a no-brainer. This is actually really cool. And I guess it's coming out in a few months. Definitely want to get my hands on one of these and test this out because I could see a lot of use for this when I'm out working on kind of an adventure project. There's something else I have to show you here at Nisi as well. We have these clamp-on filters for lenses where you can't screw something on. So this is new apparently. Jake, show me how it works. Here's like a 14 millimeter and you can't put it on. So there's no way to screw on a filter here. So with this, it's a clamp that goes on the outside so you can add your ND filters. It's got this super wide ring.
No vignetting.
So no vignetting, so you can get a big filter on there. So now you could use that 14 millimeter and actually, get some filtration on it. This is pretty cool. So I'm over here at the Sirui booth, and there's some lenses that I actually haven't had a chance to test out myself, but they have a whole range of autofocus anamorphics, which could be really fun to play around with. So we have this set here. These ones are for Super 35, but they actually work on full frame. So he was just showing me we have a full frame camera here. There's a 20 millimeter anamorphic, 1.33 squeeze, and look at that. It works just fine. And you have the super wide anamorphic lens. But here at the show, they're actually releasing 3 new lenses for their, higher end anamorphics. We got these Iron Stars, got a 75, 100, and a 135, which is right here on the camera. These come in both like a blue flare or a neutral flare. So when you're using the neutral flare, it takes the color of whatever the light source is and flares it, which I think is pretty cool. And it gives you like that more natural look, so it's not all blue. But these have like more character to them. They're gonna be softer, and they're also gonna have like a little bit more vintage look to them. They're not super big, but they're not tiny either. The autofocus anamorphic, these ones are actually small. And I'm really curious to see how these ones perform, because you could take these out, put them in a backpack. But yeah, these have been out for a little while, so I would like to see some more focal ranges in the full frame autofocus, but these could be fun to play with, like 1.5x crop on an anamorphic. I mean, the footage looks great from them, but these are all manual. These ones are not autofocus. I've been playing with all of them as I've been sitting here. They have this little set up. Maybe I'll try some anamorphic stuff. I haven't really shot a whole lot of anamorphic, but it could be cool to add into some of my videos, especially when I'm doing like dock work. I really like what I'm getting out of this. All right, I just got over to the Kinefinity booth, and well, they have a new camera that's actually super interesting. I've never actually worked with their cameras before, but this new one looks like it might be kind of cool. Let's check it out. So it's called a Vista, coming in June 2026, but this is the camera. It's like a little square form factor, kind of like an FX3 style body, but like, look at the screen, it's massive. So it shoots in open gate, and It's got a flip out screen, but it's got like this super large flip out screen. Okay, so this one has a little cage on it to, mount it onto a gimbal, because this could work with like an RS gimbal. But if you look at it, it's just a cube. You've got all these mounting points on all the different sides. It's got 2 HDMI ports. This is a 4-inch screen, 800 nit, and right now the sensor is not finalized. So this is like a beta camera. They're still working on it. They might replace the sensor, but they said it's going to be 6K plus, meaning it's either 6K or more. It's going to be a full frame sensor, but like size and weight wise, this thing feels super lightweight. The way that it's set up, you could easily build this out with like a grip. You could just keep it the small little box camera. It's got a CFast Express Type B card slot. It's got internal memory, which is kind of crazy. I think it has like 240 gigs internal memory. And then it just runs off like a single little MPF style battery. The battery in this will run for about 3 hours. Pretty cool. I mean, this 4-inch screen alone is like massive, and the whole thing feels a cinema camera. Like this is basically a cinema camera, but packed into like a tiny little body. Oh, and the lens mount. So you have the Kinney Finney mount, or you could do EF mount. You just have 4 screws here, you can replace it, and you could change out the lens mount. It'll be interesting to see like once the full details come out from this camera, but very interesting for content creators and especially like documentary. Like this could be a really cool camera documentary. All right, I am tired from walking around the show floor all day today. And let me know down below in the comments which product you think was the best of the show, at least from the ones I talked about. I couldn't cover everything. These are just the things that I found interesting. And yeah, curious to know your thoughts on all of this equipment. But next, you should really check out this video right here, which is all about the Insta360 Luna, which was announced here at NAB. And I made a whole video about the different things that I could talk about on this camera. I'll see you over there.